Have you ever thought you had trapped a demon, only to realize it was smiling back at you from the shadows? In this true horror story, that's exactly what happened to me. I inherited my grandfather's creepy old house deep in the forest, a place where scary stories of demons lurking in mirrors came to life. I thought I'd trapped the demon in an antique box until I saw it smiling. My name is Daniel, and if you're into unsettling folklore-inspired horror, stick around. This creepy tale will have you checking your reflections twice. And if it gives you chills, hit that like button and subscribe for more true horror stories like this. Let's dive in. The house stood isolated on the edge of a dark forest at night, its wooden frame groaning like it held secrets from generations past. My grandfather had lived there alone for years after my grandmother passed, always warning us about the watchers in the glass, demons that stole reflections and twisted minds. I chalked it up to old age. When I moved in last spring to clear out his belongings after he died, the place felt heavy, like the air itself was watching. Wind howled through the trees outside, and every creak in the floorboards echoed like distant footsteps. I started with the attic, a dim, dusty space crammed with forgotten trunks, yellowed photos of family long gone, and odd relics from his travels. That's where I found the box. It was small, made of carved oak, with strange symbols etched into the lid, ancient wards from folklore tales meant to bind evil spirits. I pried it open out of curiosity, and inside lay a shard of mirror, cracked along one edge but unnaturally polished. The moment my fingers touched it, the room grew cold, like a winter wind had slipped in through the cracks. A whisper grazed my ear, my name, Daniel, drawn out and mocking, like it knew me better than I knew myself. My heart skipped. I dropped the shard back in, slammed the lid shut, and locked the box in a drawer downstairs. I told myself it was just my imagination, amplified by the creepy isolation of the house. But deep down, I knew this was no ordinary find. That shard felt alive, pulsing with something dark. Nights in that house were the worst. I'd lie in the dimly lit bedroom, staring at the ceiling as forest ambience rustled outside the window, leaves whispering secrets in the wind. Around 2 a.m. I'd hear it, slow, deliberate footsteps creaking up the stairs. Not like an intruder, too measured, too patient. I'd grab my flashlight, heart pounding, and creep down the hall. The beam would sweep over empty corners, revealing nothing but dust motes dancing in the light. Just silence after that, thick and oppressive, like the house was holding its breath. One morning, while brushing my teeth, I caught my reflection in the bathroom mirror lagging behind. A full second delay as I raised my hand. I blinked hard, and it snapped back into sync. Tricks of the light, I muttered, but the creepy feeling lingered. The forest pressed closer each day, its dark canopy swallowing the horizon, making the house feel like a trap in this true horror story. As weeks dragged on, the whispers escalated. They weren't random anymore, not just my name, but echoes of old conversations from my childhood, secrets only grandfather could have known. Remember the lie you told? One hissed from the vents late at night. I dove into research, scouring online forums and old books for answers. Local folklore spoke of a reflector demon, a creepy entity that mimicked voices and faces to lure victims, trapping their souls in glass realms. It thrived on isolation and doubt, growing stronger in places like this forgotten house on the forest's edge. Grandfather's journals, hidden in the attic, confirmed the scary story he'd encountered it years ago, seeing twisted smiles in every mirror. He'd bound it to that shard using rituals from ancient texts, sealing it in the box. The shard holds the demon, he wrote in shaky handwriting. But beware, it smiles when it's close to breaking free. Chills ran down my spine. This wasn't dementia, it was real. Determined to end it, I tested the trap. One stormy evening, I carried the box back to the attic and left the lid open, sitting just outside the door with a flashlight trained on it. Hours passed in tense silence, the wind battering the roof like distant knocks. Then, a low drone built in the room, vibrating the air like approaching thunder. The shard began to gleam with an otherworldly light, shadows on the walls twisting into elongated shapes, fingers reaching out, grasping at nothing. My breath caught. I lunged forward, snapping the box shut with trembling hands. The drone cut off abruptly, leaving only ringing silence. My pulse raced, but a wave of triumph washed over me. The demon was trapped. I'd done it. For a while, things felt normal in that creepy house. No more footsteps, no whispers slicing through the night. I even invited my friend Mark over from town to shake off the isolation. We shared beers in the living room, laughing off the haunted house, tales as overblown scary stories. But as he headed out, he paused by the hall mirror, frowning. "Hey, your reflection looks off, man, like it's smiling when you're not." I waved it away, but after he left, I checked. My face stared back normally. Still, that comment planted a seed of doubt, creeping back into my mind like the forest mist on an empty road with fog. The dreams came next, vivid nightmares of standing in an endless mirrored room, reflections multiplying into infinity. In each one, my face contorted into a grin too wide for a human mouth, eyes bottomless black voids. I'd jolt awake in a cold sweat, the box weight pressing on my thoughts. One night, a real thunderstorm rattled the windows, power flickering like a dying heartbeat. I bolted to the attic, convinced something was wrong. The box sat there, lid cracked open just a sliver. I hadn't touched it. Inside, the shard was still, but as I reached to seal it, my reflected hand in the glass curled its fingers independently, clenching into a fist while mine stayed open. Panic surged. I slammed it shut, hammered nails into the lid for good measure. "You're trapped," I whispered to it, but my voice shook. The next day, the phenomena ramped up. Objects shifted on their own, keys sliding across the counter, books rearranged on shelves in patterns that mimicked those wards on the box. Whispers invaded the daylight now, seeping from under doors and through cracks, free smiling. I barricaded myself in the bedroom that night, the box clutched like a talisman. But evening brought a new terror, slow, rhythmic knocks echoing from downstairs. I peered out the window. No one on the empty road with fog rolling in from the forest. The branches tapped against the glass like insistent fingers, inviting me out into the dark. I couldn't take it anymore. At dusk, I lugged the box to the backyard fire pit, doused it in gasoline, and struck a match. Flames erupted, roaring high, but the box refused to burn. The wood around it charred to ash, yet it remained intact, the lid popping open as smoke cleared. Peering in, the shard reflected my face back, not with fear, but with a curved smile, lips stretching unnaturally. Not my smile. The demon's. Terror clawed at me. I fled inside, bolting doors and windows, dialing Mark frantically. No answer, just a dead line. The house fell into an unnatural silence that night. No wind, no forest ambience, no crickets chirping. Absolute void. Then, from the living room mirror, a whisper slithered out, "Trapped." I avoided every reflective surface, windows, utensils, even the polished doorknobs. But in glimpses, I saw them, smiles mocking me from the corners of my vision. I huddled in the dark bedroom, box in my lap. Footsteps resumed, ascending the stairs, padding down the hall. The door creaked open on its own. Nothing visible entered, but the air grew heavy, charged. The bed dipped on one side, as if something sat there. A cold brush against my arm, like fingers tracing my skin. I forced myself to look at the box. The shard glowed faintly through the cracks. Inside, the reflection's smile widened, revealing sharp, inhuman teeth. Dawn broke, and the box was sealed again, nails intact. No signs of disturbance. But the doubt festered. Had I trapped the demon, or had it tricked me into thinking so? I buried the box deep in the forest that day, and her twisted roots, soil crumbling over it like a grave. Walking back, I felt eyes on me from the trees, unseen, smiling. At home, the mirrors showed nothing amiss. No more whispers. It's been months now, and the house is eerily quiet. But in my periphery, reflections sometimes grin when they shouldn't, too wide, too knowing. In photos, my smile looks shadowed, eyes hinting at darkness. At night, I hear a soft laugh, not from outside, but from within me. Maybe the demon was never truly trapped in that box. Maybe the trap was for me, all along. And now, it's smiling because it's finally home inside. If this true horror story kept you on the edge of your seat, smash that like button and comment below. Have you ever felt like something was watching from the mirrors? Subscribe for more creepy, folklore-inspired scary stories, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Watch till the end next time. Things get even creepier.